Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, welcome to the 2021 Knowledge Sharing Program Regional Seminar with Africa. My name is Ju-Yeon Cho, and once again, I greet you after our first day yesterday. Thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you very much, and let us begin day 2 under the theme of 2021 Knowledge Sharing Program, the Regional Seminar with Africa. And this time around, our conference is being held under the umbrella theme of navigating green and digital transformation through knowledge sharing. Yesterday was our first day, and we looked at different ways on how to utilize the KSP program and the importance of sharing our experiences in terms of development with other countries. And today is the second day, and we take a deeper dive into the region of Africa. The conference is hosted by the Ministry of Economy and Finance and jointly organized by the Korea Development Institute, the Export-Import Bank of Korea, and the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency. And due to the proliferation of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is unfortunate that we cannot have all of our distinguished guests here on site with us. However, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have transitioned our event online. And so, although you might not be able to see us in person, we do hope that you'll be able to participate online as well. So today we start off on a whole new day, and let us begin by welcoming the opening remarks of Mr. Sang-Hoon An, Executive Director for the Center of International Development from the Korea Development Institute. Please welcome him to the stage with a big round of applause.
Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome all of you to the 2021 Knowledge Sharing Program Regional Seminar with Africa. I would also like to express my gratitude to Mr. Chang from MOFE and Korea Exim Bank and officials from KOTRA. Thank you for your support. In the past, the KSP regional seminars used to support Korean experts visiting the partner countries and invite regional officials to Korea so that we could engage in discussions for regional economic development. However, due to the pandemic, we're holding this seminar online. It is unfortunate that we're not able to meet in person, but it is quite encouraging that we are able to be with so many people via online. I hope that we will be able to overcome the time and spatial limitations to share our useful knowledge and experiences through the seminar, and I hope that we will continue on with our communication to find ways for development and change. The year 2021 marks the 60th anniversary of Korea's formalizing relations with African countries, and this year is also a special year when Africa becomes a free trade zone. As Korea has been making continuous effort to support sustainable development of Africa and economic stability, this is very good news. Korea started cooperation with Algeria in 2006, and so far we've carried out 144 policy consultation projects. So Africa KSP is very important, and it is very meaningful that we have been continuing on with this cooperation. Now there are discussions on ways to live with Corona. And in this regard, the Korean government is designing cooperation methods tailored to partner economies so that these cooperation measures can help these countries overcome the pandemic crisis. They include expansion of ODA in the areas of health, medicine, and education, and support economic cooperation between Korea and Africa. And as the agency in charge of such cooperation, KSP will continue to increase its role and responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, with the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, we now understand that national competitiveness does not just depend on economic development and industrial development, but it is more about the ability to overcome the crisis and promote innovation. Korea has been showing rapid response capabilities and innovation capabilities, and I believe that such capabilities will help African countries make a leap forward. And in this seminar, we're going to review the past KSP projects with Africa that have supported transformation into a digital economy. And we're going to engage in in-depth discussions on how to promote digital and Green New Deals supported by the Korean government in Africa. We will take a look at the projects of Traffic Management Center in Kenya and the driving license and practice system in Mozambique. And these are the cases where digital technology was applied to infrastructure. And there is a taxation and tax administration reform project in Ghana and a science and technology park for electronics industry in Egypt. And these are going to be the KSB projects that we will review in this seminar. And this will help us find new ways for the combination of Digital New Deal and Green New Deal between Korea and Africa. And we understand that the pandemic, the climate crisis, and digital society and transformation are the ultimate challenges we need to overcome together. But in this process, we may experience worsening inequality, and such inequality may lead to another kind of crisis. We do not have optimal solutions, and we are faced with unprecedented challenges. Therefore, we need to cooperate with one another to overcome these pressing challenges. And I hope that the KSP will be a platform for cooperation in supporting these initiatives. And I hope that the 2021 KSP Regional Seminar with Africa will be an opportunity for us to promote co-prosperity in Korea and Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Executive Director An, for your kind and encouraging remarks. And just as we did yesterday, we are honored to be able to get some congratulatory remarks from a guest who is not here with us in person, but on Zoom Live. And although he was not able to attend here in Korea, he has joined us online. And so allow me to please introduce Mr. Pascal Gatabatsi, the Chief Technical Advisor from the Ministry of Education of Rwanda, who is joining us right now on screen. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Pascal Gatabazi. I'm the Chief Technical Advisor in the Ministry of Education, as the moderator has just mentioned. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be invited to make these congratulatory remarks at this online regional seminar for Africa of the Knowledge Sharing Program 2021. I thank the government of Korea for organizing this important regional seminar in recognition of the importance of the Knowledge Sharing Program for Africa. I particularly acknowledge the Korean Ministry of Economy and Finance, the Korea Development Institute, the Export-Import Bank of Korea, and the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency for making the knowledge sharing program so successful. Ladies and gentlemen, just a minute, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rwanda Vision 2050 is about ensuring high standard of living for all Rwandans, focusing on areas such as quality of life, modern infrastructure, and livelihoods, and transformation for prosperity. To meet those targets, it is essential to achieve the highest possible quality of policies and strategies to enable all citizens of Rwanda to build the advanced country that is envisioned to achieve. The government of Rwanda, therefore, greatly welcome the initiative of the Korea government for this knowledge sharing program, especially the theme of this seminar, Digital Innovation Plan in the Post-Corona Era, to emphasize the joint effort to overcome the economic stagnation caused by COVID-19 crisis and to seek a structural transition to a digital economy. Rwanda is central to the African Union Education is central to the African Union 2063 agenda for a transformed continent. The fourth industrial revolution will fundamentally alter the way we live, the way we work, and the way we relate to one another. Therefore, there is a need to focus on equipping our young people with the skills, including digital literacy, they need to support the socio-economic development of their countries. The challenge of the global pandemic, despite many efforts put in by many countries to digitize content and strengthen infrastructure, has illustrated that while we acknowledge that technology-enabled learning presents many opportunities, there remain many challenges and trade-offs related to the most effective ways of delivering education through technology and remotely, while ensuring equity and that some children are not missed out. We recognize the miracle of Korea's rapid development over a very short period, and the objective of this knowledge sharing program to help developing countries such as Rwanda benefit from the policies and the strategies that help the Korea rapid development. We know that this focus on Korea's digital and green New Deal policy will therefore pay even more dividends in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, I can see I'm running short of time. Rwanda has already benefited from two phases of the Korea sharing program. KSP 2017-2018 had three topics, and the KSP 2019-2020 had one topic, namely strengthening capacity in understanding, measuring, and providing recommendations against all indices of the Human Capital Index. For each of the topic, the KDI appointed a senior policy expert in this field who has significant skills, knowledge, and expertise in the area, and is also immersed in the Korea system, and hence able to draw on a vast wealth of experience to compare ambitions and the challenges that Rwanda is facing, and provide policy recommendations based on Korea, that Korea overcame these challenges adapted to the Rwanda situation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, KDI, let me go to the conclusion. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome the next phase of the Knowledge Sharing Program 2021, in which Rwanda hopes to be fully involved. I am therefore delighted to provide my congratulatory remarks in recognition of this very important program in support of African development, and strongly encourage many more African countries to join the program. I look forward to the presentations and the discussions in today's seminar, which aims to share the successful and meaningful experience of participating in KSP. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pascal Gatavazzi, for your kind remarks. And also thank you for joining us live from Rwanda. And now, as you have seen from our video, the theme for session 1 is establishment of innovative digital infrastructure to improve economic resilience. I believe that it's a very timely subject. And to lead us in our discussion, we have moderator Professor Son, the Emeritus Professor in the Department of Transport Engineering at the University of Seoul, to help us through. With that, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Professor Son.
Thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen in Korea, and also good morning, I think, those in Africa. It is my honor and privilege to take the role as a moderator of the first session of the second day of the 2021 Knowledge Sharing Program Dissemination Conference. We have about 65 minutes for this session, so we have two PPT presentation. The one is about the Kenya KSP project, and the other is the Mozambique KSP project. And we have three panelists, one from African Development Bank, the other is the two guys who actually involved in the KSP project in Kenya and Mozambique. So I will assign roughly 50 minutes for each presentation, and then also 6 or 7 minutes for each discussion. And if allowed, I'll have about 5 or 10 minutes for a few questions raised by online. So first of all, may I ask Dr. Jared Owl to make a first presentation. Dr. Owl is the Chief Transport Economist in the Kenya Urban Road Authority.
Government officials, ladies and gentlemen, the delegates present in this conference here today, I'm indeed glad to be a presenter in the 2021 Knowledge Sharing Program Seminar with Africa. And I must admit my personal appreciation and thanks to the Ministry of Strategy and Finance of the Republic of South Korea, the EDCF, and all the seminar organizers, and all the participants who have worked tirelessly to see that we have this presentation here today. The 2021 Knowledge Sharing Program, entitled The Result of Support for the Operation of Integrated Traffic Management Center in Nairobi Metropolitan Region, being presented to you by Jared Owour. At the State Department of Infrastructure in the Republic of Kenya, our vision is to become a global leader in provision of transport, infrastructure services, maritime economy, built environment, and urban development for socio-economic development. Our mission is to provide efficient, safe, and integrated transport system, robust maritime economy, built environment, urban development, and sustainable development. At the Kenya Urban Roads Authority, it is a state corporation formed under the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, created under the Roads Act 2007. And the mandate of Kenya Urban Roads Authority is the management, development, rehabilitation, and maintenance of national urban trunk roads. The collaboration between Kenya and Republic of South Korea through EDCF started all the way back in 2017. And in 2018, EDCF signed a loan agreement with the Republic of Kenya for the improvement of geometry and installation of intelligent transport systems with Kenya for improvement of geometry and installation of the systems. This included the construction of Transport Management Center and having 25 key junctions connected to it. The 25 junctions covers all the junctions within the Central Business District and other key link roads which leads to the central business of Nairobi City. The goals and objectives of this knowledge sharing program was provision of the operation strategies of the TMC, knowledge sharing through Korea's experiences related to transport to TMC in Seoul. The overview of this program was carried to look at the current traffic status in Nairobi, the operation plan for the Nairobi Transport Management Center, additional utilization of the Traffic Management Center, operation, maintenance and sustainability, risks and challenges identified. And the objectives were provide comprehensive operational plan for the TMC, design transportation law enforcement, prepare guidelines for the transport efficiency response plan, interconnect public transit systems for the metropolitan region, and execute capacity building program for Kenya officials. The Intelligent Traffic System Transport Management Center, the expected outcomes are improved traffic flow efficiency up to 40% from survey analysis, provide the operation plans of Nairobi TMC for efficient traffic management and improved safety, promote and enhance capacity building program, traffic enforcement including e-police, systems which eliminates the need to have physical presence of police, real-time traffic data collection, and provide accurate information for forecasting and engineering design, centralized traffic infrastructure and network management, to update Kenyan authorities on the ITS and TMC project and concept, and lastly, among the outcomes was to agree and adopt an efficient communication plan and knowledge management. The key focus of government of Kenya and the knowledge sharing is to provide adequate transport facilities for urban dwellers and across the country. One of the areas that was considered and looked at was the population centralization in the city. Currently, the city of Nairobi have approximately 5 million dwellers among its metropolitan region, which is almost half the population of Seoul, which is around 10 million. And one of the issues that were identified were inefficient capacity and lack of enough roads that can help ease the traffic flow within the city. So there was a lot of concentration, as you can see in the diagram. Most roads in Nairobi leads to the CBD, where there is concentration of offices and human activities and business. So in the morning, everybody heads to the CBD from the suburbs or from their places of dwelling, and there is also lack of city parking. So within a very short time, you find the city is completely packed, and those who are accessing the city cannot do so if they don't do it early. And you can appreciate, even from the pictorial presentation there, that this is a system whereby everybody heads to the CBD. There is no signalized intersections, there is no proper traffic control management system, and therefore the need of this knowledge sharing program. Ladies and gentlemen, Nairobi Intelligent Transport System project considered challenges of congestion and traffic accident. It also looked at the inadequate mobility options, insufficient road network, lack of enforcement of traffic rules, lack of traffic management and control measures linked to ITS, So it is essential to install a modern ITS and the network capacity of the roads for sustainability. So the key areas that were looked at were major spots that need to be improved, intersections and junctions, the traffic bottlenecks, accident black spots, among others. Currently, looking at the overview, in the morning and in the evening, the roads are completely packed and you find that the movement is slowed down, and this has been identified as one of the greatest challenges facing even the GDP growth of Kenya. And so the Kenya and South Korea, through the knowledge sharing collaboration that was also spearheaded by the Korea Transport Institute alongside other experts from South Korea, brought a lot of expertise and experience in dealing with challenges of traffic management, borrowing from their history where they were at one point in the same problem and came up with an integrated transport management and service, innovative science and technology of the internet services. Wider objective of improving the Nairobi metropolitan region traffic, the transfer of the advanced Korean technology and the transport planning and management. Some of the identified injunctions to be connected to the TMC are illustrated here. We have the junctions within the CBD, the junctions along Jogoo Road, the junctions along Outer Ring Road, and since currently we are also in the process of implementing the bus rapid transit system, one of them being funded by the EDCF of the Republic of South Korea, BRT Line 5, which covers Jogoo Road. It is our intention also that the TMC, all the BRT lanes that have been identified be connected to this TMC. So during this study and knowledge sharing program, some of the TMC knowledge sharing outcomes were reviewing of laws and institutions on public transportation. Through the National Transport System Efficiency Act, the authority should consider introduction of the act in an attempt to establish a working master plan. Special CCTS Act on Metropolitan Traffic Management, which is important in setting regulatory framework. Special Act on the construction and operation of the bus rapid transit. Consider public relations for utilization of transportation. Consider having a separate bus rapid transit control center connected to the TMC. Introduction of intelligent public transport system, bus management system, integrated payment system. This will offer a transition to card-based payment as opposed to the current cash payment. Expansion of transfer facilities for transport for public transportation to improve the inflow of vehicles in and out of the CBD. Legal and institutional foundations for public transportation management in Kenya. Currently, there are no acts that serve as a basis for the formulation of the public transportation. Have a mind in long-term TMC operation plan, and also consider collaboration with other institutions like universities, research institutions for collection and analysis of research data and innovation for purposes of improvement. During this knowledge sharing program, one of the key lessons that were learned was to formulate an act of public transit system which will be shared with the transport and infrastructure committees of the Kenya government. Since all the laws and acts in Kenya must pass through the government of Kenya, we intend to table to the transport committee the findings of the knowledge sharing program so that the formulation of the acts that are required should start being processed by the parliament and approved. We also learned that we should make future plans for the intelligent transportation system, which will be taken up by the ITS steering committee, which has already been informed, incorporating all the other stakeholders in accordance with the National Transport System master plans and standards. The basic element concept of the operation of the TMC includes efficient transportation services, standardized fare system, introduction of card payment system, provision of free transit services, collaboration with other stakeholders, offering subsidies and also incentives to the key players, which we learned as it was done also in Seoul and other cities in the Republic of South Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, I may not bring all that was learned, but as I conclude my presentation, I want to identify that the knowledge sharing project reviewed basic directions of the proposed transport traffic management centers operations and explains efficient traffic management strategies that can be easily introduced with a view to enhance better utilization of the TMC. The authority was also advised to consider the operation and sustainability training, risk identification and analysis, and any other emerging challenges. As I mentioned earlier, Kenya Urban Roads Authority and the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure of Kenya remains committed to the long-standing bilateral relationship and broadened technical and economic partnership in various fields, and more particularly in transport and infrastructure and the Republic of South Korea. It is my hope, ladies and gentlemen, that the knowledge sharing conference for this year will remain focused in improving and promoting the fundamental initiatives identified in the initial Integrated Transport System Master Plan for Nairobi Metropolitan Region, besides providing a link to the initial KSP outcomes and objectives. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Oul. Yeah, I think he explained about the Integrated Traffic Management Center according to the KSP project. According to the suggestion of the KSP, he's decided to build the new Integrated Traffic Management Center. However, in order to operate the integrated TMC, Traffic Management Center, they have to collect a lot of data from the loop detector or CCTV and some kind of image sensors and so on. And then these data could be collected and manipulated, and then according to the data, the Integrated Traffic Management Center can estimate the travel time for the passenger cars, and then they can give the information to the bus users. So we usually call it bus information system, and then they can manage the bus operators. It's called the bus management system. Anyway, it takes a long time to build, not just to build the integrated traffic management center, and then they have to learn the know-how, how to collect the data and manipulate the data and estimate the exact data, and then to provide the users of the passenger cars, bus users, and so on. Anyway, thanks a lot again. And then the next presentation is about the 2019-20 Mozambique KSP project. It will be presented by Mr. Manuel Matias. He's the team head at National Institute of Road Transport.
Mozambique KSP business introduction and announcement of project result and the current progress. Mozambique driving license education systems, police research and consulting for modernization. Tables of contents. First of all, background of KSP business application in Mozambique. 2, Mozambique KSP consulting overview. 3, formation of Mozambique KSP consulting team. 4, Mozambique KSP review of the existing driving license system. 5, Mozambique KSP basic direction for improving the driving license system. 6, Mozambique KSP conclusion and recommendation. 7, promoting and realization of KSP in Mozambique through the Korea National. 8, application of first selection by national association. And the last one, 9, coordinator efforts to the implementation of the project. First, background of KSP business application in Mozambique. As of 2019, 8,032,769 vehicles and 1,224,43 drivers. 15% increase of traffic accident death rate between 2007 and 2017. Increase in the traffic accident rate related to the poor driving license systems. So now we have got a table with statistics of car importation in Mozambique, and the source is Tax Authority of the Republic of Mozambique. And we have got the image of the car accident in Mozambique. In Mozambique now we have a rapid urbanization and the increase of vehicle registration, increased traffic and fatalities for poor driving license. Mozambique driving license is to be improving. And 2018 Mozambique applied for the KSP project. 2. Mozambique KSP Consulting Overview. Subject: Police Research and Consulting for the Modernization of the Mozambique Driving License Education Systems in 2019 up to 20. Periods: 8 November 2019 up to 16 October 2020. Schedule change due to the COVID-19. Contents: Mozambique State Survey and Analysis, Mozambique Driving Education and the Driving License Test Opinion Survey, Korea's Driving License System, Mozambique Driving Education and Improvement Plan for Driver's License Tests, Construction of Mozambique Driving License Examination Center. Formation of Mozambique KSP Consulting Team. We have the Neo Information Systems on top, and the Coal Roads and Cotra Maputo. The Neo Information Systems is head of the KSP business in Mozambique, driving license solution, Korea Police, 18 share of the Korea driving license, performance into 12 overseas countries and Botswana. Coal Roads, government public institution under the Korean National Police Agents. Korean driving license test insurance and management. Korean National Driving License Examination Center. Management and supervision of the private driving school in the Korea. Kotsa Maput, consultation with the government in Mozambique. Mozambique investigation gathering. Mozambique KSP review of the existing driving license systems. Points: the National Land Transportation Agents in NATO under the Minister of Transportation and the Communication (MTC) is the change of various tasks such as automobiles and railroads. So it seems necessary to create separate department in charge of driving license. The driving license tests needs to be reestablished as a qualitative improvement and efficient operation of administrative service in the process from the application to issuance. It's necessary to standardize driving education and operation of automobile driving school. In the case of Korea, number of drivers at the time of 1918 was 1,303,339,000, which time to 20,003,018 and 137,000 as of the 2018, according to school roads. Be critical of examiners professional. 5. Mozambique KSP basic direction for improving the driving license the systems in the future. Improvement goals for the nurturing high-quality novice drivers. To nurture high quality of novice drivers, it's necessary to establish and improvement the directions that meets the goals for each stage, such as education for obtaining a driving license and a driving license test. In order to become safe driver, a lot of practice and experience must be accumulated, so it is necessary to reestablish and systematic curriculum and training time. To improve the qualification of instructions through training, qualification tests, and continuous training. Goal 2, safe driving emission and improving goals. It's necessary to be prepared standard so that to have undergone and the system training selects with fineness and objectivity. It's necessary to make an evaluation that's an objective selects wherever or not high qualification to driving safety on the road. The driving license test is divided into functionality tests and road driving tests, and operation and driving and checking in the functionality test. Mozambique KSP conclusion recommendation number 1. License systems improvement. In 1995, Korea Group breakingly improved the driving license systems, introduced a professional driving school systems, upgrade the automatic scoring system for driving license skill tests, eradicated corruption related to the driving license to foster high quality driving to reduce trafficking accidents. Driving school in Mozambique, driving school modernization. In Mozambique also needs to improve the quality of driving education through the modernization of driving school to strengthen driving safety awareness and eradicate corruption related to the driving license by constructing a national driving license test center and introducing as automated scoring system. Currently, there are about 153 driving schools. The trafficking culture improving. Change in the driving license systems will reduce traffic accidents through a change in the driver's consciousness and establish traffic culture, thereby reducing the increase in social costs caused by the traffic accidents and scaring trust in the government police, thereby enabling and advances traffic culture. KSP conclusion recommendation 2, driving education roadmap. It's necessary to establish a roadmap to reduce traffic accidents and establish road order through the modernization of driving education in improvement of driving license tests and to establish the roadmap to eradicate corruption in driving license. Driving education roadmap. First, the development of driving training course and the national standard textbook schedule to be institutionalized and applied to novice driving educations after the establishment operator, experienced instructors, and the education, the transportation experts guided the discussions enough. Driving education's quality improvements. Second, in order to improve the quality of instructors, it's necessary to improve the quality of driving the education by securing the excellent instructors through the training, getting qualification, and gets the regular training. Driving license instructor building. Third, the opportunities to take the driving license test is improving through the construction of the national driving license examination center, etc. And by providing various languages for the theoretical exam, theoretical tests, and by introducing the automated scoring system for the skills tests, corruptions is eradicated so that excellence novice driving can be produced. It's necessary to improve driving license, administrative service by education, administrative costs, and the prompt assurance of driving license for providing convenience and civil compliance. Other projects promoting to the COICA. The Road Traffic Authority consultant applied for the COICA of Korea, KSP, project in August 2020 to realize the result of Mozambique KSP consulting to the Korea Order Program. Project name, driving license and the commercial driving qualification test center advising project to expand traffic safe culture in Mozambique. Applicants, Co-Road Consortium, Road Traffic Authority, government agents and the National Police Agents, driving license test, insurance management. Transportation Safe Authority, government agents under the Ministry of Lands and Infrastructure and the Transport of the Republic of Korea, ensure and management of commercial driving license, periods 2023 up to 2027. Other projects promoted to the COICA. The Road Traffic Authority Consortium applied for the COICA of Korea KSP project in August 2020 to realize the Mozambique KSP consulting to the Korea Order Program. Master Plan Consulting. Analysis of the problem in Mozambique, existing driving license test management, systems law, driving license general commercial, improve the plan and the master plan establishment. Driving license test center, general commercial established. Construction of the national driving license test center that meets international standard, Mozambique, Maputo. Mozambique driving license general commercial, standard platform, traffic safety, education center. Driving license tests, general commercial systems and equipment supplied. The objective tests and systematic license management through automatic computerization. Computer-based theory tests, in-house test systems, test vehicles. In efforts, the implements of the projects. The first part of Mozambique National Association proposal by the Road Traffic Authority, October 2020, but due to the difficulties of the COVID-19, submission of the final second proposal, and has been delayed by 1 year due to difficulties in the fields of Mozambique or in field visit to Mozambique, scheduled to be submitted in December 2029. So we have here the memorandum of understanding with the Co-Road and Inatel. This is the Korea version and the English version. Inatel efforts to implement the implementation of the projects. Inatel delivered the Mozambique road traffic law and the various statistical data of the quota of the selection of the COICA projects. We have on side left Inatel PSP submitted, and on side right we have the draft design of the first driving center. This is area we found to implement the center. Between 2019 and 2020, to the former stream of the KSP Mozambique and the INATM has been collaborating for the implementation of the project. The scheduling of the realization of the police research and the consultant for the modernization of the Mozambique driving license education system changed due to the COVID-19. Thank you for your listening. 2021 Knowledge Sharing Program, Religion Seminar with the Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martius. Well, compared to the first Kenya project, the Mozambique project, the scope is very specific, and then I think so it can be implemented sooner or later. So where the first Kenya KS project scope is large, and then it takes a lot of things. On the other hand, the Mozambique project, it just deals with how to modernize the driving license system and then driving practice system. So I think we can expect some immediate result from the Mozambique KSP project. Now, we spent about more than 30 minutes, and then as I told you, we now have 3 discussants. And one is from AFDB, Mr. Babati Mogeti. He's the Senior Urban Development Officer in the African Development Bank. May I ask your comment, Mr. Mogeti? Yes, please. Mr. Mogeti. I cannot hear you, so your mic is not turned on yet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity and the invitation by the Minister of Finance and Economic Development. I think I would like to take this opportunity to sort of share my views and sort of buttress the importance of infrastructure investment, realizing that urbanization in Africa is estimated as 600 million currently of inhabitants in our cities. And by 2025, we expect to be 1.2 billion. That on its own says there will be a lot of excessive pressure on transportation systems within our cities. So it is imperative to adopt these innovative ideas. And I think from the 2 presenters, Chad and Pascal, you would realize that the initiatives that are being brought on by the KSP program, they really sort of drive the idea of what, as a development bank within Africa, we are also trying to achieve. Just maybe to give a brief sort of idea, you would realize that as a bank, so far by 2020, the transport sector was the biggest, has held the biggest share with 23%, whereby in 2019 we spent 2.2 billion just only on transport and urban development on its own. So those are issues that now ICT now brings in the issues of improving the efficiency of transportation systems within our cities, and also to improve the user experience. So it is imperative also to look at, not necessarily look at it as transportation on its own, but also consider the issues of mobility. How do we improve mobility as a whole? How do we integrate all our mobility systems? Which are, and also the other issues is you have drivers of climate change. 15 to 20% of CO2 emissions come from transportation systems. And if when we adopt these innovative ideas, we can basically improve and increase the sustainability of the mobility systems, and then also that mitigate the climate change that Africa as a region is also experiencing huge dose. So my last, I think, point would also to be say, the KSP program, it will be sort of to encourage it to say, how can it help? Because currently our regional member countries, as African countries, they are experiencing the issue. There's need now to upgrade the existing infrastructure systems so that it can have all the necessary ICT systems that will enable us to have the design and the tools that will make all those legacy infrastructure development or infrastructure that we have developed to sort of have or to be digital compatible. That's one area which I think in the case of Kenya, that's what the KSP program is doing. And then the other issue that come with it is issues of data security. How do we go about those? Those are issues where now we're saying KSP, I think Korea with the bank, we have our good relations. We have the QuaFEC program, which is basically also one of the sector which is helping with the project preparation within the urban development sector, where we focus more on the issues of mobility. It's now to look into the issues of how do we leapfrog instead of following the same cycle of development where we're still developing these huge infrastructures, how can we leapfrog to go into the smart transportation systems, basically? So I think that's where we're looking at issues of how can the KSP sort of provide the advisory role and also in assisting the regional member countries in the issues of data and standard protocols, so that the data that's shared across all the modes of transportation, they are easily shared. They can easily shared in a particular standard that can easily help with data integration through or across all modes of transportation. Issues of data security, and then I think the last thing is the issue of the divide, sort of the digital divide between age groups, the issues of classes and social groups. How do you sort of bring them on board in this era where we're trying to be innovative? That's also one issue that we need to consider. I think that would be it from my end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mogati. Thank you for your valuable comments. He discussed particularly on the ITS, Intelligent Transport System. What should we bear in mind when we build this kind of ITS system? Thank you. And then the next discussion is Eun-hee Roh. She's the project advisor in the Seoul Housing and Communities Corporation. She actually participated in the Kenya project as the co-principal investigator. Particularly, he showed the policies in Seoul, and he was in charge of capacity building of the Kenya officials. Please, Ms. Roh.
네. 안녕하세요. 방금
Hello, as introduced, I am Eun-hee Roh, project advisor at the Seoul Housing and Communities Corporation. I'd like to comment on the presentation from Kenya. This project was about supporting the operation of the Integrated Traffic Management Center in Nairobi Metropolitan Region. In order to achieve flexible, resilient city recovery, integrated and intelligent traffic management system is very essential. It is an important part of infrastructure development. The Kenyan government considered this an important initiative, and they've decided to cooperate with Korea, and they utilized the EDCF funds and the Integrated Traffic Management System, and ITS and TMC, Traffic Management Center, will have to be integrated, and the specific project will be carried out with the help of EDCF. And as Mr. Uwer mentioned in his presentation, one of the key aspects of this project is to propose a medium and long-term operation strategy for the TMC, and more specifically, how to structure the TMC and how to introduce standards and criteria for each stage, and in the long run, how to make proper reviews so that we will strengthen compatibility of the TMC in the future. And in addition to the technical assistance, policy considerations are also very important. And only when we have both policy considerations and technological consideration, we can have a successful infrastructure project. So in this regard, they need to improve their enforcement structure, and they also need to introduce data-driven traffic control system. And to do so, they need to start gathering data, and they also need to promote public transportation. And there are various policies, BIS, BMS, and transport card system. All these policies can be introduced in order to promote public transportation and offer more integrated traffic experiences. And we were able to share Korea's experiences in this project. And secondly, in carrying out this infrastructure project, we need to put in place a good governance structure. As for ITS system, the Kenya Urban Road Authority was the main government body, but there were other relevant institutions, including Kenya Highway Authority, the Kenya National Police Service, and NTSA, and NAVATA. So there were many stakeholder institutions involved. And at the Kenyan government, they wanted to promote cooperation with various stakeholders to increase efficiency and effectiveness of this new infrastructure project. And building a cooperative governance structure is something that we all understand as critical. But when it comes to the actual implementation, it may not be easy. It's not only the case of Kenya, but also in Korea and in many countries around the world, they may face similar challenges. So you need to look at the specific needs of various stakeholders, and you need to have a phased approach. In the case of Seoul, we have TOPIS, which is the transportation management system. This is a control center. And here, the Seoul government officials take care of the traffic management, and then they collaborate with the National Police Agency. Initially, traffic data such as CCTV data and speed data, such data were shared in the initial stage. And then gradually, various institutions sent their employees to the control center so that they could build up their experience of collaboration and cooperation. And gradually, we were able to build partnership and cooperation with various institutions. And as was emphasized over and over again, we need to connect different sources of data for effective utilization of data. As such, the Seoul metropolitan government began to receive data from many different outside sources so that we could offer more accurate traffic forecasts information. And of course, when you think about Kenya and Korea and Nairobi and Seoul, there are definite differences and there are different contexts. So we may not be able to apply our systems directly into the Kenyan context, but initially we can start from the high-level approach in promoting cooperation between the Urban Road Authority and other institutions. And I think our experience can be a useful reference for Kenya. And finally, I'd like to discuss the implications and the significance of the KSP project in Kenya. Currently, there's rapid urbanization in Kenya. There's explosive population growth, and as a result, they're struggling with many urban challenges. And in particular, they're dealing with very challenging traffic situations. This also have negative impact on their economic growth. And these experiences are quite similar to what we experienced in the 1980s. And at that time, Korea built infrastructure and expanded infrastructure in a phased manner. And there were a series of policies and programs introduced along the way. So we shared our trials and errors with Kenya. And we also shared the lessons learned in this process. And we often engaged Kenyan government officials, and we matched them with the practitioners in Daejeon and other city traffic management control centers. And by arranging opportunities for them to interact with one another, we were able to put our brains together and discuss ways to overcome these challenges. In this KSP project, we may not have been able to offer clear-cut answers, but I think it was very meaningful that we were able to discuss our common challenges and we were able to build a common understanding. And in this process, we gained useful experiences. And because of the pandemic, we have to pursue digital transformation, and the importance of using data for traffic management is increasing ever more. In that sense, the integrated traffic management system in Kenya will be built in order to help create a more resilient and sustainable transportation system in Kenya. And I think that the KSP project in that regard is quite meaningful. And with the support of the Korean government, we were able to help this country increase their efficiency in infrastructure. And this knowledge sharing opportunities will have to be continued. Thank you.
As a project team member, she explained in more detail about the project, and then particularly she put an emphasis on the governance between the city government officers, police, and then experts and something like that. Thank you. And then lastly, it is Mr. Bong Kwon-min. He's the General Director, Neo Information Systems Companies. Mr. Min, please. We have only 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. As was introduced, I am Min Bong-kwon from Neo Information System. Looking at the screen, I see Mr. Matthias. We haven't seen each other for about 1 year and 7 months. Nice to meet you again. Such a pleasure to see you again. Well, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I have not been able to see you. I should have been there about last year, but as you mentioned before, there has been a delay in the program, so it's so unfortunate that I have to see you on the screen. But as we began this KSP project in Mozambique, and we started our fact-finding mission in 2019 in December. And in February again, for about 1 week, we began the fact-finding mission again in 2020. And starting from the second round of fact-finding mission in 2020, the pandemic really took on hold, and we were not able to finish our work as scheduled. And especially in relation to other type of work where we were going to have some people invited over to Korea, and we were going to have another round of meeting in Mozambique, but we had to cancel that trip. But especially with the Transport Authority or INATER, and with the support from KOTRA, we were able to complete our project successfully, and there's a very strong support and commitment coming from the Mozambique government. And the project, I think we find it very rewarding. As we have been very much involved in KSP, we had a chance to introduce our driving license system to Mozambique, and the Transport Authority of Mozambique has been very much aware and interested in introducing the advanced driving license system to Mozambique, and also is in the process of constructing a driving license education system, and as part of the ODA system with KOICA. And starting from this year, we're going to have a business trip scheduled in Mozambique. We're going to see the site that has been secured by INATER, and we will be having the preliminary study again with the core road. So that's going to be a collaborative study conducted to look at the site that has been secured for the driving site. We'll be able to see you again in December, and we look forward to the cooperation to take place in December or November. So we will be able to talk to you again in terms of coming up with some detailed schedule for December. So we look forward to your continued cooperation. We want to, and we hope to see you again in December. Thank you very much.
If I wrap up this session, I think we hold 2 exemplar KSP projects in African countries, particularly in the transport sector. The one is to set up or establish integrated traffic management center in Nairobi, Kenya. And the other is the modernizing driving license and driving practice systems in Mozambique. I think these kind of KSP projects, the similar or some better one, might be implemented in other African countries. And then I think the most important thing, in a few cases, the suggestion might be ended by suggestion. So some follow-up project should be conducted, and some fund should be backed up to construct the infrastructure or to develop some softwares and so on. So I think for the other African countries, these two example case studies might be so helpful, I think, and you can suggest some project to the KDI or Korea Exim Bank or the KOTRA or kind and any implementing agencies. And then your country and your people can get the better services, more sophisticated services, and so on. And last but not least, I hope the COVID-19 pandemic will be ended soon this year, and then so we can hold the next KSP dissemination conference in 2020 in person. Until that time, I hope you can take care of yourself and then be healthy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Well, thank you once again for the great panel discussion, and thank you for our three gentlemen who have joined us online, despite the different hours that they are in. Please give another big round of applause to our moderator and our panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.